Listen to what this verse says in 2 Corinthians 3:9. For if the ministration of condemnation be glory, much more doth the ministry of righteousness exceed in glory. That was the King James Version. Listen to the New International. If the ministry that brought condemnation was glorious, how much more glorious is the ministry that brings righteousness? Listen to the New Living. 2 Corinthians 3:9. If the old way which brings condemnation was glorious, how much more glorious is the new way which makes us right with God? So this is very important to me, because what it's saying here, from what I can understand, is that because of Jesus, we are made right with God. And because of Jesus, we have righteousness. And in the ministry of condemnation, which even still then had glory, is the ministry of action and not by grace. So because of Jesus we have grace, and that to me means a whole lot. And just for reading it again, it's so important. King James, for if the ministration of condemnation be glory, much more doth the ministration of righteousness exceed in glory. So those who preach Jesus and those who preach righteousness are much more effective, or are much more in righteous standing with God than if those who preach condemnation or preach works. So the people that preach works and the people that preach condemnation do still exist, and they are in the pastoral spaces, and they do condemn and they do preach works. And so they do have things, negative, bad things to say about people, and they forget that the administration of righteousness exceed in glory. So you guys have a good day. Remember 2 Corinthians 3:9, the New Living Translation again. If the old way which brings condemnation was glorious, how much more glory